Those are one of the biggest lessons I learned, man. The onus, whether I like it, I know we always talk about this equality thing, but I'm telling you, when it comes
No, equality belongs in the workforce.
yeah,
Human rights.
it comes to
When
relationship,
it comes to romantic relationship, you throw that out the window. We're not equal.
I'm not. I'm not.
And it's not beneficial to be equal because we're trying to create sexual polarity. We're trying to create polarity. Why do we want to be equal? We're trying to create compatibility. It's not compatible when you have
Yeah.
like sides of the polarization, right? That's not how life works.
Because I have a lot of listeners that are single. And I think that's one of the toughest things right now is people getting into meaningful relationships and building something really, really meaningful. Like,
Right.
are there any general tips that you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
share
yeah.
with us?
Yeah, the truth is, you need the protection of a leader to protect you guys in an environment, and that's the beauty about the family structure. You have a man who can protect you.
Yep.
Uh, the only thing that changes in this dimension is that it's no longer financial and physically because she can protect herself in that sense. But
Yes.
there's something that she still needs you. Stop all the cap, including ladies, right?
Mhm.
She still needs you to protect her emotionally, right? She needs to feel that sense of a masculine energy around her. And when she doesn't feel it, we all have masculine and feminine in us, right?
Yes,
Her
we do.
masculine come to the surface because she needs to protect herself, right? And then
Yes.
you receive that as disrespect. That's what it feels like on the surface, right? Or
Hmm.
you don't feel enough, right?
Yeah.
But once you're able to understand that this is not about financial, again, new dimension, new order,
Yeah.
right? It's not about, it's still protection, but not financial and
It's almost
physically.
like you have to kind of change your mindset. It's
It's
like
mindset. It's always been mindset. It's just that it was really, you have to protect them physically
yeah.
once upon a time, a few hundred years back, right?
But now
But
where it's
now,
in society and
right,
it's not as prevalent,
exactly.
but
But we've
but
been,
we still need to protect in
you
other
still
ways.
need to protect because we've been socialized to be that way. She come home sometimes from that boss chick activity and she needs to be able to cry on your shoulder. And if you're not a secured guy in yourself,
Yeah.
that's going to make you start to feel like, there are little things that you've been socialized to that you need to tweak now. And it's your responsibility to tweak it because you are a leader. You don't get to cry the other way around and say, me too, me too. No, there's no me too.
Yeah.
No, this is not the point where you need to subscribe to equality. You're not equal. You're the leader, right?
Yeah.
So if you understand that it's the same principles, but the dimensions are different, and you need to ask questions about what dimension are we in right now. She doesn't need me here, but she needs me over there. You're still leading. You're still leading, and she still needs you to be a leader. And it's not something she needs to admit to by her mouth. There are women that will say, no, 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 I just want a partner. It's not your cue to start arguing with that, right? The actions speak louder than the words, right? So there are 7 principles that are used that's applicable to all of this. And I'm speaking to men because I believe that women are a product of how we move
Yeah.
to a large extent. Yet there are evil women. I get it. I get it. But how did you attract that evil woman? Let's talk about that, right?
Mhm.
So there, in any one of the areas that I cover, there are 7 things that I use: resourcefulness.
Okay.
Resourcefulness. You have to be able to come up with resources and start waiting for someone to create resources for you, not especially a woman, right? If she brings money to the table, trust me, there are other areas missing where you could fill the gap. Again, it's about resourcefulness, not about having the resources.
Yeah.
It's applicable in every aspect, right? Then 2 is influence, defense, and offense, right?
Yeah.
Influence, defense, and offense. I would like to add audience, but in a relationship, the audience is her, right?
Yeah.
It's her. But offense, defense, playing offense and defense, if you need a good balance of all of that. If you're always playing defense, meaning I just need prenup, you're going to lose. That's not how to win a game.
Yeah.
You need to be playing offense too.
You're not gonna gain her trust. You're gonna lose.
Yeah, if that's what dominates your conversation, she's gonna get scared shitless and run away from you far. If the domination of your conversation is all this fear-driven stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's not just romantic relationship. People run from you. Nobody feels safe around you, right?
Yep.
The third thing is systems and processes, right? You need to have system and process in place because you're a human being. Don't put yourself on a pedestal. System and process, a good example of that would be the ocean. The ocean is feminine energy, right? It moves the way it moves. You try to swim against it, you will drown yourself.
Yeah.
Instead, you need to learn how to leverage it in your favor, right? And then you can now create the results you're looking for. There's a skill set behind that. Then number 4 is patterns and trends. Every human being have patterns and trends. If you say 2 statements, I can read you. I know the next thing you're about to say. You need to develop social and emotional intelligence skills, right? 4 is growth by leverage. It kind of allude back to what I said earlier about use things around you, the forces around you to create growth. Don't try to be a superhuman. Don't, when she comes home and she's crying about that boss and you can see the answer, it's not your cue to give the answer. Just listen a little bit longer. Just make her feel safe that she can talk without somebody spewing all kind of solution at her. The solution sometimes is the process. Women especially need to go through listening. The idea of they feel safe that you can listen to them without feeling the need to solve every problem. And a lot of men complain that you expect us to be superhuman. Actually, I'm telling you to be the opposite. I'm telling you that all this work you put on yourself is not necessary. You just need to relax and listen sometimes. It's easier. It's harder because of your emotions. You're getting caught up in your emotions, but it gets easier with time, you know? Number 6, elimination of competition. How you eliminate competition is confidence. Confidence, right? Everyone is attracted to confidence. People don't know what you're capable of at the end of the day, but if you show them some kind of confidence, they will bet on it all day long. They do it in the stock market.
You do.
Right? Last but not least is sustainability. Again, don't try to be God.
Whatever you do, make sure it's something that you can pretty much sustain, right?
Yes.
Like don't try to don't be something and then show up. That was another one of the key things that I learned before I got into my marriage, because that was one of the issues. That was one of the mistakes I used to make in my previous relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I would come out and I would want to impress so much, and I would do all this and that, and women expect that to an extent that
it's okay for them to expect that.
yeah. But sometimes sometimes as men we go overboard, so that when we now settle into the relationship, it's almost like you become the opposite person, and then you now start looking like a phony.
Yep.
And they look at you like, is this the same person that? And the minute that happens, they lose trust. And once they lose trust, it's almost like downhill from there.
It's like destroying the building.
It's like downhill from there. So that you're right about that. That consistency thing is really, really key. Is not going too overboard. At least try to maintain a good sense of yourself so that you don't seem like a completely different person.
Yes.
And I think one more thing that, and I think you kind of alluded to it, is that with relationships, right? I think the onus ultimately is on the men. There's this guy.
Sorry, that's the reality.
There's this guy, and this was something that I learned again before I got into my marriage. Something that I learned from Patrice O'Neill, and he would say this thing all the time, and I never understood at first. But he would be like, if the marriage doesn't work or if the relationship fails, it's your fault as a man. And
they quote O'Neill all the time. They don't quote that part.
Yeah.
The red pill community, manosphere, they don't quote that part.
He'll say it's your fault as a man. And he would almost kind of trace it back to like something that went wrong, something that you missed along the way that then caused this cascading effect to the point that either she ended up cheating on you or she ended up leaving you or something. But he would trace it back. And Patrice was like, this man, it wasn't like he was the best looking man, but this guy got girls. Like
of course.
He knew how to control. Like it was, and those are one of like the biggest lessons I learned. Like it's almost like if you're going to enter a relationship and the onus kind of has to be on you. So you have to kind of make sure you set those right expectations.
It's a mindset shift.
It is.
You know, it gives you power because you can always say, when you say, I can hold myself accountable, you see, it's powerful. It's powerful. When you say, no, there's got to be something else fault, you lost your power instantly.
Yep.
You
Those are
know,
one of the biggest lessons I learned, man. The onus, whether you like it, I know we always talk about this equality thing, but I'm telling you, when it comes,
no equality belongs in the workplace.
yeah,
Human rights.
it comes to
When
relationship,
when it comes to romantic relationship, you throw that out the window. We're not equal.
I'm not, I'm not.
And it's not beneficial to be equal because we're trying to create sexual polarity. We're trying to create polarity. Why do we want to be equal? We're trying to create compatibility. It's not compatible when you have
Yeah,
like sides of the polarization, right? That's not how life works.
and besides, it's not like you want to date yourself, anyways, because that's essentially what it would be. You'd be dating someone that was just like you in every single way. You're equally.
Anytime a man's rhetoric is full of holding women accountable, like it's so easy for me. Like that's the problem.
Yeah, it's a
I can
red, it's
just
a
pick
red
it up.
flag.
Like that's the problem. You're competing with a woman.
Yeah,
You will always lose.
yeah, yeah,
You already lost.
yeah. Yep. Before we go though, please, don't forget to please hit that subscribe button right there on the Smiling Software network page. Hit the bell. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications.